Hello, hello. This is the LEGO Star Wars Tatooine Battle Pack. Something a little different for a battle pack, not the typical Imperials versus Rebels kind of setup. So that's cool that they've tried something out of the normal formula. Let's take a closer look at some of the figures first. I guess this is officially the new cheapest way to get Jawas. They include one with each of the torso prints. I think that a lot of people out there still would like to be able to mass up some Jawas, at least a handful of them. You don't necessarily want to make an army, I think, most folks, but, being able to actually get two of them with a little bit of variety in such a small pack, I think is great. I'm very happy about this. And you know what? To me, the stud shooters don't look too out of place on these guys. They could just represent their little ion blasters. They have the large barrels or barrel extensions, whatever they have at the ends, and this is not too bad. So I'm actually happy with the inclusion of the stud shooters for once. Let me take these hoods off so you can see the torso prints a little bit better, all the way up to the top. I don't think I have a preference between these two. The only thing missing here would be a cape piece, a short cape piece for each. I think that's the only thing that would make them better. Between these two torso prints on the backs, I definitely prefer the one on the right. Just, preference. But I'm just happy to be able to get a couple Jawas for cheap, and I'm happy for fans who will be able to get a couple Jawas for cheap. On the bad guy or badder guy side, maybe, you get one single Tusken Raider here, Sand Person. This has very good printing for the torso and the hips and the legs. Yeah, cool. Proper, good paint applications for the head, I think. They look like they're masked off pretty well. Of course, that mold is still good. Print on the back of the torso is pretty clean. It's a little bit off in registration around the edges. Need to be printed out just a little bit more, or possibly even choked in a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit of overprint where it just kind of splashed out. Yeah, might be a brand new stamp that they put on for this one that kind of changes the shape of it. But he has his gaffy stick, which is a fine build, I think. I like that design. Yeah, good to get. I don't think it's going to be particularly fair. Actually, you know what? If he came with a rifle, then it wouldn't be fair for the Jawas. But since he just comes with his gaffy stick, I think that it'll be more of a fair fight for the Jawas, especially given that they have their projectile weapons, even if they are just stun guns. I think that it'll probably be pretty well balanced in terms of the battle itself. And then there's this. Ah, yes, a new exclusive Star Wars astromech droid.
This will make a fine addition to my collection.
I love getting astromechs, and there are a lot of folks out there who are really into not only collecting toys of astromechs, but just kind of collecting knowledge about them. I know this quite well because I just spent about an hour and a half, it looks like, just searching the web, trying to figure out what droid exactly this is supposed to be. As usual, I have the funky registration of the printing where it's all crooked, as I usually get. I'm not the only one. Even some official LEGO photographs of astromechs in the past have had really, really, really wonky prints that are all angled like that. But what my Googling came up with was a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what real fans have actually gone through to identify this stuff. But this, as far as I can tell, is a droid from Tatooine, from A New Hope, called R3-T2. It's an R2-D2 body, or body copy, with a repaint of a head with red and white. The first thing that it looks like from a distance is Obi-Wan's R4P17, but that's not the same, A number of things are different there, but there's one other thing that I found out that is very close to this in some ways, and very, very closely related to it. And that is the original astromech droid, just funny random nerd information. The original astromech droid used by Wedge Antilles in the Death Star attack in A New Hope, this same movie, right? That one was called R2A3, and toys of that have been made in the past that are actually incorrect. Because, as it turns out, the same head, the same prop head in the movie, the physical one, was used for R3T2 and R2A3. The same head. But evidently, I haven't seen any hard evidence of this, any photographic evidence of this, but supposedly the body is different. The body uses, for Wedge's droid, uses red painting applications rather than the R2D2 blue. This also, to be an appropriate and accurate R3T2, should have blue markings down the legs, but it's R3T2. I'm happy about that. I'm just glad to get another new, different one, like I said, to add to my collection. Love this stuff. Too bad about the wonky printing for the head, though. The side build in the set is just a little Jawa utility vehicle. It looks like it's trying to be a tracked vehicle with just very short in height tracks, and has just a little bit of sandcrawler kind of inspiration with the angle at the front of the cab section. This has a couple of weapons on the sides that you can also shoot with. I'm assuming that given the design of this thing, it probably wouldn't be able to turn left and right very quickly, so it wouldn't be good against infantry attackers. But I mean, use it however you want. You can put just one Jawa on there, or you can move one forward and then put a second one on there. There are different ways that you can actually put them on. I think it looks best like this. Of course, it has a couple of tools on there with the wrench on one side and the hammer on the other. And the major feature is the crane, which is actually pretty useful because it can go all around. It can rotate, it can come out farther. This rotates, and you can use it to pick up junk or droids and stuff. So let's say I want to just pick this one up and put it on the back. There we go. Rotate this around and just set them down. Pop. There we go. Something like that. Does the trick. It's only able to carry one at a time. Actually, you could put a second one here. Move this guy up. You could definitely put a second one right there. Not a problem. And then this can also fold up like this. There's a kind of a stopper right here. You can just take that out if you don't want to use that. It just kind of limits the motion like that. But if you want to be able to do a little bit more with it, just leave that piece out. This is good. It's a nice little thing. I think it looks kind of cool. Definitely looks best to have the Jawa sitting down at the lower seat, I think, or standing at the lower position. However you want to do that. Yeah, I think it makes sense to include something like this in this set. Tatooine Battle Pack. Nice selection of figures. Something, like I said, a little bit different from your usual style of battle scenario, and that's great. I think that across all LEGO themes, almost all LEGO themes, we get too little kind of side stuff. Too many things are focused, understandably, on the main characters and the main battles, the main strifes and conflicts in that given theme. And, it's nice sometimes to just get some background stuff, some side stuff. And I think that everything here is stuff that a lot of fans will enjoy. And that's why I'm happy that it's on the market. That's it for my look at this set. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you'll stick around to check out my next video, which is on the way pretty soon. Talk to you then.